Hilary, welcome to the show. How are you? Is it snowing in Dunedin as well? No, we need to get a better line. Josh, can you get Hilary on a better line? Because that is not what. So might well be is the answer to that question. Might well be. Now, I'll be putting up all those interviews, by the way, that we've had today, both with Dr. Bassett and with John Raine. They will be going up as well. So for those of you who want to partake of that, John Raine, not saying Michael Bassett wasn't, but John Raine's in particular I thought was very interesting. It's snowing. Oh gosh, it's snowing right as I talk to you now. Hilary, are you there?
Yes, I am.
That sounds better. Don't know what was the problem. I've got snow falling outside my studio window. What's it like where you are?
It's clearing up. It stopped throwing sort of handfuls of snow at us, and it's clearing up.
You sound like you've got a cold.
Oh, just a wee snuffle-ette.
Actually, this has been quite a year for the flu, hasn't it, really, in general?
Yeah. There's some nasty things about, but never mind.
There sure are. I was reading over the weekend that COVID will be always with us. And I went, yes, that makes sense. But the suggestion is that it's not going away. Isn't it interesting how we just accept that like it's, oh yeah, whoop-de-doo, whereas 3 years ago we'd locked the country down?
No, well, 4 years ago, we knew that winter was the flu season.
Yes, that's right. And that, 500 people died every year? But there you go.
Yes.
And that old people, if they get something, don't tend to flourish as well. Although you might argue, doesn't matter. Don't start doing that.
Except that old people have become closer than they used to.
Yeah, I suppose that's right, isn't it? Yeah, you're right. They're in congested circumstances. Tell me, Hilary, I was just talking just before I had you on the show. NCEA results came out. They were published for the first time last week.
Yes.
On the education websites. They get very little flourish. I would have thought that the Ministry of Education, New Zealand Qualifications Authority, a whole lot of people say, well, if you want to know how you like a school or your local school's going, you're quite interesting in Dunedin, aren't you? Because you have a real battle every year, a marketing battle between all of the schools to try and get roll.
Yes.
I think you're the only place in New Zealand.
Well, it's not just children who you can't tell, like you can't easily tell, or I can't tell in Dunedin, how your kids are actually doing, which is what the government's trying to achieve. Whether they can or not, who knows, but they're trying to achieve the ability to, when you get a report home from school, for it to make some sense. You know, how's your kid actually going?
Yeah.
All those things. You can't tell at the moment. And presumably, because of that general ethos, the schools don't want to be asked how they're doing either. They the comfort of just being able to say nobody knows how we're doing. That's not how we measure things anymore.
Yes, although obviously we're moving towards a much greater measurement, as you say, doing the testing each 6 months, particularly for all the normal and good reasons you would expect. Can I ask, though, this question of you? It seems odd, doesn't it? And it strikes me as a sort of a logical problem, that you finally get to year 11, 12 and 13 and your kids are starting to get tested with a national test that is reported both individually to the school and nationally. But you have no tests at all from years 1 to 10. I mean, that just seems crazy to me.
And that's the very time that it matters. You know, like you can't do fifth form maths or whatever it is now, year whatever, 11, if you haven't got a basis of maths. And if you haven't got a basis of maths, you wouldn't know.
No, that's correct. All right.
How you can do it later, I don't know.
Well, but take me through this one again too. And that is, you have a contest though every year. Why is that? Because the rolls are dropping in Dunedin between your schools.
It's because we've got slightly more schools than we would need if we had the same number to serve that number of population that some places have.
Why don't they just close a school? Was that considered
Well,
too radical?
what I'd like to see them doing is not so much, I mean, we know which schools do better and which schools don't do so well, and we could look and say, you know, let's all go to that one over there, and why are you stopping us because of zoning and things? Or what you could say, and you wouldn't need to make the schools bigger, you could say the Board of Trustees or whatever's making it work at King's High School or somewhere, it's working. They've figured it out. Mm. And if they can tell us that they're doing something on purpose to figure it out and that they've been doing it for some years, why don't you let them run one of the other schools as well? You don't need to amalgamate them and have them all in the same school. You can just have the same people being in charge of them.
Good. I mean, that's I mean, I'm not even going to try and argue against that. It seems you're absolutely right. If we've hit upon the system that allows lots of people to succeed, why wouldn't you duplicate the philosophy, the structure, the management to make that help elsewhere?
Yes, and you could have some that turned out to be professional boards of trustees or something if they knew what they were doing.
Oh, yes, and that's the other thing, isn't it? Yeah.
You'd still have them local.
Yeah. No, that's the other thing. I was actually just looking, for example, at the statistics. I'll give you a good example of that at the moment. A school that's found its way back into favour, certainly under its NCEA marks at the moment, would be Otago Boys High School at the moment. But just to explain to listeners, Otago, about 5 years ago, might be longer, the Ministry of Education decided that one particular school in Dunedin was too successful, didn't it, Hilary? King's High School, boys' school.
Yes.
Roughly middle decile. We're not talking upper decile here. We're talking about decile 5, decile 6. So by no means. And it was so successful that they decided that they would stop people coming to it in an extraordinary show of ideology. Because,
how dare people want to go there?
Yes, that's right. And it just strikes me that that's the kind of people we've got running the education system at the moment. It's not simply that these people don't like success, but they are determined to stop success when they see it.
and to stop you knowing about it when they know about it.
Mm. No, absolutely.
So all a bit weird, really. And a bit depressing.
Yeah, it is depressing. And those Ministry of Education people are still around, although for how much longer, that will be interesting. Now, what did you want to talk about today? Looking ahead to the week, review, what's on your agenda?
I think it's interesting what we're seeing going on at the moment about the government getting rid of or scaling down or whatever a variety of Māori departments. And I think it's got a couple of effects. I mean, there's like the Māori, whatever the Māori government department is, that is in theory in charge of Māori, Pākehā Māori or whatever relationships, and is quite clearly not. It's an advocate for Māori. It's not about both sides of a relationship. It is an advocacy from Māori to the government. 200 or 300 people, and they're just rearranging its thing. So I presume several hundred of those people are going to disappear. And there's sort of disestablishing of a variety of different, what I would describe as racist government departments, really. If I had to look for just a single word that... and that's going to have a few effects. One of the things that I think is really weird is that even ones who have had reviews of them, where the review has said this department is not fulfilling the function it should, it is not achieving the results it might, we don't know what it's achieving, we don't know, who'd have what they usually in the media describe as a scathing review. Even those ones, people are saying, you're going to destroy Māori achievement if you get rid of that department.
Yes, I think you're specifically talking about something called te ara whiti, which is the Office for Māori Crown Relations, which is to be disestablished and absorbed within Te Puni Kokore, the Ministry of Māori Affairs, yeah?
Yes. And who knows exactly what they're going to do with Te Puni Kokore. But
it'll continue to be the slush fund that it's always been, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, even when there's been these scathing reviews, there's a defence of them that is just such complete bullshit, as if they've been wonderful. And there's also
Yes, as if they're making a difference.